Hello, this is Nathan, better known as CrazyhermitDM, and this is my podcast, The Hermit's Homebrew. Joining me today is Brent from Langeministudio as we talk about Fallout 2D20. All right, so there we go. How's your week been?
Really good. Getting a new schedule at work going. I'm off the night shift. I'm not a vampire anymore. Looking forward to the new schedule. Looking forward to
And then
sleeping at night.
See, that's quite a good segue, because with you going to days and one of your other coworkers, we'll have a side game of Fallout coming up.
Oh yeah,
Here in a couple weeks or two. A week or two.
yeah, he asked actually today. It's almost like every other time he and I see each other at work, he asks me about it. So this is kind of the most engaged I've seen him
Yeah.
with like a lot of stuff. He's really looking forward to it. And he and I happen to have been talking about how to modify iconic weapons.
Oh.
Like how in, I don't like how in Fallout 4, they dropped the ball, in my opinion, with their iconic weapons, with their legendary weapons. The ones like in game, like say Overseer's Guardian or whatever, it has the same skin as a normal everyday gun. Well, in New Vegas, they didn't do that. They actually had unique skins for your unique guns. Like one of my favorite ones was this machine. This machine is an M1 Garand.
So, is there like any house rules or modifications you like to use to help our Fallout game that maybe I know there's like the perception.
Yeah, adding the perception is definitely one. We had I was definitely kind of going, how do I have you guys see something?
Yeah.
And so yeah, so we house ruled putting in the I think it was search with the search skill.
Search, yeah.
Whatever it was. Adding that, which I think was lacking in the original game, but whatever.
Yeah, at least the rules as written.
Yeah,
It seemed
rules as written. Yeah.
It seemed like 60% of all our checks seemed to be, I think it was survival.
Yeah, it was just defaulting to survival for like lack of a better one. And so it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, the perception or the search skill was absolutely one. I do like in D&D, like 5th edition, to where they had perception and investigate, where perception you see it, and then investigate is you figure it out, like you pick it up, you manipulate it or whatever. I like that, but I also think that it's also getting into some areas of there's too many skills.
Yeah.
Because one thing I do like about Call of Cthulhu
Yeah.
is that the skills allow you to create that character you want to create. But it's also to the point of, dang, there's a lot of skills. There's a lot of stuff.
Like, God, it's been actually a year, 2 months ago since we played Fallout. And
A year and 2 months, really.
Yeah, last January-ish, I believe. I'd have to check that old Discord, but when we first started playing, what did you feel like the most common mistake we made, or you felt like people were making? It's hard to remember everything, and even though we did like a dozen and a half sessions.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest hiccups was it being a 2D20 system is that rolling low. In D&D that we're all used to, holy cow, you get a 20, that's good. In Fallout, that's bad.
That definitely was the biggest adjustment.
Yeah, to where you need to roll ones, or ones are where it's at. That because now you can start getting multiple successes and stuff like that. So I would roll and I'd be like, oh, I got a 19. That's a good roll. No, that's a bad roll. That's great. So I think that was more just like just a rules thing of just wrapping your head around that. But I can't really think of too many like mistakes roleplay wise, because coming from with you and my wife, you guys have a lot of experience in role playing games. And one thing I'm really proud of you guys about is that you all take a look at each other and go, hey, you work together as a team, and that's really just fantastic. To where if one of you's like, hey, what are we gonna do here? Oh, hey, I got it. Let's go do this. Oh yeah, sure, let's go do that. But mistakes other than the one, I think it's just all just with this growing pains with the rules, because in D&D combat, it's all grid based, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet grid.
Oh,
In
yeah.
Fallout, rules as written, it's zone. And
Yeah.
that was one that I had a really hard time like
I
squaring
think,
in my head.
I think we modified that.
We
We
did.
were using the inch and a half.
Yeah, we were
grid.
using grid. Inch and a quarter.
Inch and a quarter, yeah.
Yeah, where I made dungeon tiles essentially.
Yeah.
Where I did inch and a quarter grid on these dungeon tiles. I'm like, okay, close range is 2 to 6 squares, medium range is 7 to 12, so
Yeah.
that we could wrap our head around that tactical combat to where when we start playing again, I'm going to switch to zone
Oh, okay.
because I think I've wrapped my head around it enough to where I can now explain to you guys, hey, here's how this works. So maybe the mistake was not one rules enough, but hey, who knows?
And then, what do you feel is like the biggest like difference between like world building with a post-apocalyptic type setting compared to like high fantasy of Dungeons and Dragons?
One, I really hate that I don't know who said this, but I really like the idea that I'm going to butcher this quote, but high enough technology looks like magic
Yeah.
to the people who don't know better. And so when it comes to Fallout, you have your plasma guns and you've got your mini nukes and you've got laser rifles and all that stuff. That could, for lack of a better purpose, be magic. You've got hand grenades. Well, that's just fireball. You've got the flare gun. Well, that's just a cantrip. That's just a fire cantrip.
Yeah.
Yes, the mini nuke is fireball on steroids, but it's
Yeah.
in all honesty, once you break it all down, they're remarkably similar.
Did Josh ever use that mini nuke list?
No, and that's the thing he brought up is like he wants to use it.
Yeah.
And so he was saying that eventually he's like, if he has to, he's gonna get on top of a building and just mortar it and just like chuck it. Or he just arms it in his hand and just throws and just lets gravity do the work. Like, oh god.
Oh god.
You're gonna mini nuke the skyscraper you're on and just have it fall over. But no, he really wants he's carrying our mini nuke around and he doesn't have the launcher, but he really wants to use it. But as far as world building, it's interesting with Fallout specifically because it is based in the real world.
Yeah.
Originally, I wanted to do a city that I was really knowledgeable about, which is St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
And so the first time I ever ran Fallout before 2D20 came out, I just really jankily modified. I think it was fifth edition. I modified fifth edition D&D into Fallout, where I was just really skinning it.
They had some sort of critter come out with that. Where
I forget who.
It's back in 15 or 16,
something like that,
8 years ago.
So I had like the arch, which was completely destroyed, but there was just 2 spires sticking up that were the feet of the arch.
Yeah,
and it was a super mutant stronghold and stuff like that. And so I was really kind of stretching my legs with the science fiction setting. And then when 2D20 came out and I approached you guys, I wanted to go to a city that I knew absolutely nothing about.
Yeah.
So when I picked New Orleans, it was because I was in love with the pop culture mystique of the Crescent City, and just from Anne Rice and just anything.
A variety of TV shows.
Variety of TV shows, stuff like that.
And then we renamed it Bayou City.
Yeah, and it was renamed Bayou City because no city stays the same. Well, it's kind of because like Las Vegas became New Vegas. Boston stayed Boston, but it was just the Commonwealth, which I believe is the territory. The states kind of fell apart and became commonwealths of whatever. I'm really kind of rusty on my lore on that one.
All right. I do remember, what was it, researching basically kind of the United States map or whatever, because there's one game where I was playing and then we started using factions from Fallout to kind of figure out where each of them were from and all that. And I basically just like the Iowa, Nebraska area where we're from is a giant radiation bowl.
Oh yeah.
Even was the Gunslinger series. That's a post-apocalyptic.
The Gunslinger is the background is absolutely post-apocalyptic.
Okay.
Absolutely. With like the mutants that he has to fight, the mutated crabs that like bite his fingers off. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's totally post-apocalyptic.
And then so like Is there any quest or storylines you remember from the video game you like purposely just tried to directly lift for our Fallout games?
Honestly, no. And the reason for that is because when I started designing the setting of this game and everything, I just wanted to do pretty much a whole bunch of strings of one shots
Yeah,
of small self-contained stories. Go here, go do this. Just because I wanted you guys to learn the system and I wanted to learn how to run the system.
yeah,
So there was a lot of stuff that really didn't, in the long scheme of things, really didn't amount to a whole heck of a lot. But you guys got to learn the territories, you got to learn your skills, got to learn how the weapons work, how combat and social interactions, the economy. Got to learn a whole lot about that. And when we start playing again, that is something that I'm gonna change gears. I'm gonna start injecting the main story I have in mind.
yeah.
And you're gonna start running into not necessarily the villains,
Hooks.
but yeah, you're gonna run into their subordinates, and you're gonna start learning. Oh, there's a bigger thing going on
Yeah.
here. There's a bigger threat to not just Bayou City, but to that general area of the United States itself. And who knows how you do it. I'm gonna put forward the people that are doing things, and here's their reasons for doing it. They're going to go do this. What do you want to do? Do you want to stop them? Do you want to help them? Do you want to kill them and take over? That's totally up to you guys.
If I remember right, you were leading up to basically a bigger gang.
Yep.
Or you were leading us on a cryptid hunt as well.
Well, yeah, there's also the cryptid hunt. Yeah, to where I remember. Oddly enough, if any of you guys listen to this, watch the Watcher guys on YouTube. I love Shane, Ryan, Stephen Lim. You guys are awesome. I love all your content. One of the things they did is they would talk about cryptids and they would do ghost hunts and they would do all of that. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I started looking up each state's favorite cryptid or something like that in each state's lore. What's a cryptid? And so I went and I found Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi. I don't have a map in front of
You
me.
know what Arkansas is? I don't even know that one. Like Iowa has the Iowa Dragon somehow. I don't know. And then
Well, the thing is, yeah, but I don't want to give it away because I actually I have minis of each one of the cryptids.
okay.
And I want you guys to run into them, and I have storylines for each one of them on how it kind of like will tease you guys. This is where it came from, but then this is what it really is. What drew me to Fallout in the first place was I liked the first person view because my first experience to Fallout was Fallout 3. I loved that moment when you left Vault 101 and your vision went all blurry and then it cleared up and you saw the wasteland. And I was like, I want to go. I see something out there. I want to go see what that is. What's in there?
Yeah.
And plus the world building that they did so subtly sometimes
Yeah.
to where okay, cool. It's the Dunwich building in Fallout 3, Dunwich Boars in Fallout 4.
Oh yeah.
So Cthulhu based.
Oh yeah. There's a
And
lot of Lovecraftian
yeah, I didn't know that because I hadn't read the Dunwich Horror yet.
with like basically Fallout got you into Cthulhu, but
Yep.
with so what would you like recommend to anyone that's coming from like a Pathfinder or D&D or anything like that if they're coming over to Fallout would be like your like since you are the keeper with this one or the overseer, sorry.
Overseer, yep.
What would you recommend as like the biggest tip to starting out or adjusting to that system?
Do not worry so much about not knowing the rules. A
Yeah.
lot of the Fallout game and D&D can be almost identical with a one-to-one carryover. Know how to operate in a party, know how to talk to your fellow players, talk to your overseer, talk to everybody because you're here to make a story.
Yeah.
And whether it's with you being a super mutant or a robot or a human, a ghoul, whatever. Understand that you're all there to tell a story and to have fun. If you can keep that at the core of what you do, the rules will come. Also, don't take it quote unquote too seriously.
No, I mean,
You're
like, you got the Grognak the Barbarian, it's very, like,
yeah,
pulp
very
the
pulp.
old
Yes.
serial pops, like Flash Gordon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you've got your Unstoppables, who were
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's the Avengers, stuff
Yeah.
like that. So Fallout is supposed to be full of dark humor, to where there's a lot of really crazy things going on with, like you said, you got Grognet the Barbarian, you had the Mechanist and the Antagonizer were
Yeah.
fighting each other. It's like you've got a superhero and a supervillain duking it out. These people are crazy. But you also, like, in the background, you're in a nuclear wasteland where there's super mutants walking around and people
Yeah.
are dying every day. So just trying to exist. And then you're looking around with, like, humanity's folly and the crushing economics of what led to the Fallout game. But then you come into little Timmy who's
Yeah.
freaking stuck in
So
the refrigerator, and like, how are you still alive? Oh, you're a ghoul? How are you still alive? Type stuff.
and then you have, like, the lethality of the wasteland, and it's
Yeah.
like it's not like you're just basically a one-hit wonder with Call of Cthulhu, which you're very, very, like, a paper thin
Yeah.
thing, which it's
Yeah,
meant to do 'cause
you
it's
are the
more
one hit where you get
or
hit,
you
you
have,
die.
like, at D&D where you become a superhero
Yeah.
superhero, like, I did feel like in the first couple, like, 3 or 4 levels, like, we could easily die. I feel
Yes.
like at level 4 or 5, I think we were out before we ran out.
I think it was 5, yeah.
Yeah, that, basically we were, like could take a couple of punches.
And that's from your equipment, because if you remember right, your biggest, hit point increase came from making your character.
Yeah,
Every level after that,
1
it's
HP.
1 hit point per level.
Like, with my character, Kellen, I got
Mhm.
attacked by the rad gators or whatever
Yep, yeah,
by
they
a
tore you
city.
apart,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I ran back to the boat for some stupid reason.
Yeah, I forget why you went back to
I
the
was
boat,
I
yeah,
I was making a questionable decision. I went to run back, and
and
yeah,
then
then the gator came up like the gator out of Lake Placid and almost
yep.
dragged me in.
Yeah, because yeah, you went down to 0 to where, yeah, you were dying, and I kinda went, "Oh, right, what's the dying rules in this game?" And I know, like,
Oh,
flip,
yeah.
flip, 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 flip.
Well, that is one thing I didn't read into was the death rules. I thought it was just like, you're down, and I can't remember if, like, you can do stim pack somebody those first couple
I think we
rounds.
house ruled it to where if it was, I think 2 rounds, you
Yeah,
could stim pack somebody and come back. Because I don't like "Oh, you're at 0." I'm like, "Well, just because someone goes unconscious in real life doesn't mean they're dead."
yeah.
You mean you can go and do resuscitation or whatever, and you can, help them out.
I do like Call of Cthulhu. When you go to 0, you basically got 1 full round
Yep.
for someone to do a medicine check. If not, you're
You're
dead,
dead. You're
and
done.
that's it.
Yeah, make a new character.
Yeah,
Yeah. But that's the cool thing with Cthulhu, is that it is so lethal.
yeah.
Combat is supposed to be like avoided
Avoided.
at all
Yeah.
costs. So yeah, that's really cool. Like the last one that you did when we fought the was it a ghoul in the basement?
Oh, the house?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
that
y'all
is
got it.
actually part of the quick start, I think, adventure that
Oh,
I
was
kind
it?
of modified.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we went in there, me knowing
Uh,
what the system is. I like, someone's gonna die here, y'all.
oh, yeah, and I was throwing all the cliches with Call of Cthulhu
Oh,
there.
yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
My God, the music box that just kept like playing, and I was freaking out so much, and you were laughing your ass off at me because, like, oh, I'm gonna walk out of
I've
the
never
house,
seen you frightened at the game table, so
and
yeah.
you're like, okay, well, as you're walking out, you hear a music box or you hear the record player 3 rooms down, and I literally just remember sitting there kind of going, I don't want to do it. I do not want to go look, but my character, it's what my character would do. He's the stereotypical private investigator that doesn't believe in this crap. So wonder what that was. Went and looked. I'm like, he is gonna die. Something's gonna make you go crazy. That's it. I'm done. And then nothing happened. It's like, Nate, what are you planning? What are you playing at?
Yeah, the 2 creepiest parts of that was the him coming out of the bathtub and grabbing somebody, I think.
Yeah, he grabbed Chase's character.
Yeah, Chase's
Yep.
character or Sam's for sure. And then
Oh no, I think it was Chase. I think it was Chase.
oh no, the bed went
The
flying
bed, yeah.
went flying at her, and then
Uh-huh.
he like Catwomaned it because she got like
Insane
an D
acrobatic,
100,
yeah.
like almost 100, I think.
Yeah,
She's
his
like
speed rolled really high, yeah, to where it was like almost like a Matrix like bullet time backflip over it. It's like, how did you do that? Yeah.
that, and was it? You guys were halfway downstairs. Vicky and Allison had locked the door to the basement.
Yeah, it's like, what do you?
And then because she has in her backstory, like her daughter's missing or whatever, I had like the little girl fingers come underneath the.
Yeah, just like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. Oh my god. Oh yeah, like, and that's the cool thing about Cthulhu is if you build that environment and you get players that want to buy into that environment, it is so good.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you can like obviously like me, I'm a storyteller. You know
Yep.
how to kind of build,
Mhm.
at least give those beats.
Yeah, exactly.
So like some of the challenges, like there's like we've talked about them, like the post-apocalyptic and the fantasy or whatever. Like
Mhm.
I think we've already kind of talked about like what the biggest differences are.
Yeah, and what the biggest difference is
Like, is it just
all.
like like in your opinion? Sorry to interrupt, but
No,
is
you're
it
good.
just
Go
like
ahead.
a skin pack to Minecraft, so to speak, or is it actually like different atmospheres?
In it's absolutely different atmospheres to where, and I think it's all just a player's perception.
Yeah,
Mechanically, what you're doing is you're creating a character. The overseer slash DM has built a story, and you are going to go try to figure out what this story is and have fun telling the story with each other. So it shouldn't matter if you're an orc and an elf and a human who cast spells and sling battle axes at dragons. No, instead of an orc, be a superhuman. Instead of an elf, be a ghoul. Instead of human, be, well, human.
yeah.
And instead of, well, you could still swing swords at people, and instead of swinging spells, pull out that triple barrel missile launcher or the laser gatling
Oh God.
and go fight a death claw or a Cazador or whatever. So it's, yes, it can be like a skin pack to mine or a skin thing to Minecraft,
Yeah.
but it's simultaneously more and less than that. But what adds the complexity is you don't know what your players are going to do. And I can put you and my regular group
Yeah.
into a setting, and I can kind of know where you guys are going to go. But if I go
Unless
to
I'm playing
say,
Helen.
unless, and then and you drink a beer,
Yeah.
you know,
Or well, what was it? Because Helen was a ghoul sniper that had I basically gave him dementia.
yeah, he was,
Radiation
yeah,
dementia.
yeah, yeah, radiation induced
Yeah.
dementia, yeah.
Basically he was starting to like not become feral, but he just was becoming basically
He was losing touch with reality a little
yeah.
bit.
And then so I started rolling fudge dice just to see how bad
I
it
know
was for Nation.
it's amazing. What's messed up is that you would be start rolling that like for your skills,
Yeah.
and then in game you would say, "Oh, hey, do I have a beer? Yeah, I drink it." All of a sudden, your dice started rolling better. It was weird.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know how you did
Like
it.
at least 90% accuracy.
Yeah, it was like okay, and so that would give him a running gag of if we find a beer, we're keeping it because we're going to give it to Granddad over here because
yeah.
he needs it. And Granddad needs his hooch. So and see, that's the kind of thing that you get those players, you get these three players together, you can tell that story. To
Yeah.
where if I go to a local gaming shop and I run with four other people, it could be a completely different story to where it could be a player that would get super mad at rolling bad so many times and they get fed up. Where you made it part of the character's identity and had fun with it.
Oh yeah.
And everyone else would just roll with it and had fun. That's
And I
what's
think
amazing.
I think it's the same with like Toy Bar or whatever, or
Yeah.
his chaotic
Mhm.
things,
Absolutely.
or like Nick with the Colfax incident recently with item theft or whatever.
Yep.
We're all at that age to where we ain't gonna like if somebody tries to pull some shenanigans, even if it's against another player, we're not gonna look at that person just like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, like
Hey,
yeah.
you're personally attacking me. It's
Yeah,
like,
like
no.
it's a game. Yeah, that's what a lot of people need to tell themselves. And sometimes when I get too invested, I need to tell myself as well. It's just a game.
Oh
We're here
yeah.
to have fun.
Hey everyone, I'd like to thank you so much for watching this episode of the Hermit's Homebrew. We have another episode coming out next Wednesday. Please like, follow, and subscribe to the podcast and support us as we continue to level up and grow.